Welcome to BOJTV Trending News for top stories in local, regional and international news, along with the sports and the local weather forecast. I'm Carla. Coming up in local trending news. Maypen police in Clarendon released the names of 5 persons of interest. 2 persons lost their lives and 18 others injured in 2 vehicular collisions in Hannover. No work, but woman given 41 checks valued at $15 million, court heard as a Manchester municipal trial continues. And Ready TV CEO Clarendon calls on the Jamaican government to begin the digital switchover and end analog broadcasting in Jamaica. Now the details. An associate of former Deputy Superintendent of the Roads and Works Department of the Manchester Municipal Corporation, Sanjay Elliott, testified in court on Wednesday, June 19, that she had encashed approximately 41 checks amounting to approximately $15 million from the local authority for work not done. The young woman informed the court that she had met Elliott at a gym sometime in the period 2013-2014. She said a general conversation followed, and while he was giving her a ride home on one specific day, he asked for her full name and taxpayer registration number TRN with the promise of finding her a job. She said the job did not come to fruition. However, she started to receive checks drawn on the account of Manchester Municipal Corporation. The witness said she would encash the checks at either of the branches of the financial institution with 2 locations in Mandeville. She said that she would hand the money over to Mr. Elliott and another accused now on trial, Dwayne Sibley's, who was employed to Elliott, or another person as instructed by Mr. Elliott. She said Elliott would give her a call each time a check was ready and instructions about what to do with it. She said a check could be as low as $10,000 or as high as about $490,000. 8 accused are now before the Manchester Parish Court on trial for the alleged excess of misappropriation of $400 million from the corporation. 2 motorists lost their lives and 18 other passengers injured following their involvement in a 2 vehicular collision along a section of the Barbican Main Road in the parish of Hannover yesterday morning. Those killed have been identified as Kevon Sutherland of High Level Road in Sandy Bay, Hannover, and Everton Riley, bus driver of a Lucy address also in Hannover. Reports by the Sandy Bay Police are that shortly after 11:30 a.m. yesterday, Riley was transporting passengers in a blue Toyota Hiace minibus from Montego Bay to Lucy. On reaching a section of the Barbican Main Road in the vicinity of Chock-a-Blue Adventures, Sutherland, who was driving a Nissan Tida motor car from the direction of Lucy towards Sandy Bay, swerved to avoid hitting a pothole. He lost control of the vehicle and collided into the passenger bus. The drivers of both vehicles with 18 passengers sustained injuries and were transported to the Lucy Hospital, where Riley and Sutherland were pronounced dead and the other injured persons admitted. 13 persons have lost their lives in road accidents in the parish of Hannover since the start of the year. The partially nude body of an unidentified female was discovered in an abandoned building in the parish of Trelawny on Wednesday afternoon. The Falmouth police were now carrying out investigations, say the body was found at approximately 12:30 p.m. in the Rio Bueno community. Reports are that shortly after midday, residents living in the Rio Bueno community stumbled upon the body in an abandoned building and summoned the police. Upon arrival of the lawmen, the unidentified female was discovered partially naked. The body was removed to the morgue for post-mortem examination. Detectives attached to the Maypen Criminal Investigation Branch in Clarendon have listed the following men as persons of interest. They are Romain Murray, otherwise known as John Tom, of Comfort District, along with Kenroy Linder, otherwise called Duppy, and 3 other men known only as Sea Dog, Ellie, and Tennysaw, all of Yorktown. The police said the men who frequent Gravel Hill, Comfort District, Milk River, and Yorktown are given until 12 noon today to turn themselves over. They are also asking persons with information that could assist in locating these men to call 876-981-2208, Crime Stop at 311, or Police Emergency at 119. Ready TV CEO Clarendon has called on the government of Jamaica to begin the digital switchover and end analog broadcasting in Jamaica. Mr. Darren, who made the presentation on Wednesday, June 19th, at the 8th Biennial Jamaica Diaspora Conference, discussed strategies for investment in Jamaica creative industry and highlighted the important role the digital switchover DSO will play in unlocking the economic potential of Jamaica's digital creativity. Mr. Darren pointed out the importance of vibrant digital broadcast space in order to increase the number of free-to-air digital channels available for content creator and consumer alike. He stressed that Jamaica has no shortage of broadcast content and that the country is ripe for digital broadcast and that it is time for the government to act to enable entrepreneurs in the industry to provide content for viewers. Those were your top stories making local trending news. Now join us for news from across the region as well as our international story, sports and local weather forecast. From across the region, the United Nations top human rights official arrived in Venezuela Wednesday for a visit that comes amid heightened international pressure on Nicolas Maduro for allegedly silencing opponents with jail, torture and excessive violence. On her first visit to the South American country, UN High Commissioner for Human Rights Michelle Bachelet is expected to meet with Maduro and opposition leader Juan Guaido, two men locked in a power struggle for control of the crisis-wrecked country. But the fact that her three-day trip is even taking place is seen as something of a minor triumph for rights activists. Bachelet's predecessor Zaid Rad al-Hussein was repeatedly denied access to the country for criticizing what he said was the government's refusal to recognize a humanitarian crisis. In contrast, Maduro appears to be rolling out the red carpet for Bachelet, who survived jail and exile during Chile's military dictatorship. On the eve of her arrival, the government freed 21 opposition activists considered political prisoners, including a substitute lawmaker and 18 people detained during recent anti-government protests. Previously, Maduro began allowing the Red Cross to deliver humanitarian aid. Appearing on state TV shortly before Bachelet's arrival, Maduro said he was ready to hear out any of her proposals that aim to improve conditions in Venezuela. An international story. The bodies of an Oregon mother and her 3-year-old son have been found more than a month after they vanished, hidden in a forest where the boy's father cut wood, authorities said. Really good detective work led authorities to find the bodies of Carissa and Billy Fretwell on Saturday in a heavily wooded area northwest of the state capital of Salem, Yamhill County District Attorney Bradbury said. Michael John Wolf, the child's father, was arrested last month at a donut shop in Portland and charged with kidnapping and aggravated murder in their deaths. An autopsy found 25-year-old Carissa Fretwell died of a single gunshot wound to the head, while additional testing this week will determine how Billy died, prosecutors said. Fretwell hadn't been heard from since May 13. Her family reported her and her son missing a few days later when she didn't show up for work. Court papers show Fretwell went to court last year to establish that Wolf is Billy's father and had filed a petition seeking over $1,000 a month in child support. 52-year-old Wolf had a permit to cut wood close to where the bodies were found, Berry stated. Over in our sporting report, the Jamaica Athletics Administrative Association JAAA National Junior Championships is scheduled to commence this afternoon at the National Stadium. No finals will be contested today, and the first round of under 20 100-meter and 400-meter for both male and female, as well as the first round of the under 18 400-meter in both genders, will be contested to kick off the 4-day event that will be used to help select several teams to represent the nation in international competitions later this summer. The championships will select the teams for the NACAC Under 18 Championships to be held in Mexico July 5 to 7 and the Pan American Under 20 Championship in San Jose, Costa Rica July 19 to 21. On your local weather forecast, insignificant feature, a high-pressure ridge across Jamaica. Additionally, there is a low-level jet stream across the central Caribbean. The high-pressure ridge and the low-level jet stream will remain across the island today. Friday morning, expect a tropical wave to move across the island. The ridge then quickly rebuilds by late Friday evening. The ridge and the low-level jet stream remains across the island into the weekend. Wind conditions persist across the island. The forecast for this morning will see partly cloudy skies across sections portions of eastern parishes, otherwise sunny and windy. During this afternoon, partly cloudy mainly across hilly inland areas, otherwise sunny and windy. Tonight, fair and windy. Maximum temperature expected for Kingston as well as Montego Bay today is 34 degrees Celsius. That was BOJTV's Trending News, your top local, regional and international stories, as well as sports report and weather forecast. Until next time, I'm Carla. Thanks for watching. Your